Good evening and welcome. Tonight we will be going over the history and geography of Bukhara in Uzbekistan. Bukhara is located in the Bukhara Oasis, which is basically this whole area here surrounding the Zarafshan River. This oasis is wedged between two deserts, the Kizilkum Desert up here in Uzbekistan and the Karakum Desert here in Turkmenistan. As you can see here, it shares this long border with Uzbekistan, with Turkmenistan. So pretty much this entire region, like all of this is just desert. All of this is just desert. And then here's Oasis, where pretty much everything that we're going to talk about happens. So that's pretty much it for geography, to be honest. But the history here is very fascinating. Bukhara was established a long time ago. We're not quite sure when. It was sometime between the 4th century BCE and the 1st century CE. And it was a major stopover point on the Silk Road. And that reminds me, I forgot to show you UNESCO sites. Let's talk about it. All right, then we have the Silk Road's Zarafshan-Karakum corridor. The Zarafshan-Karakum corridor is a key section of the Silk Roads in Central Asia that connects other corridors from all directions. Located in rugged mountains, fertile river valleys, and uninhabitable desert, the 866-kilometer corridor runs from east to west along the Zarafshan River, which I just mentioned, and further southwest following the ancient caravan roads crossing the Karakum Desert to the Merv Oasis. Channeling much of the east-west exchange along the Silk Roads from the 2nd century BCE to the 16th century CE, a large quantity of goods was traded along the corridor. People traveled, settled, conquered, or were defeated here, making it a melting pot of ethnicities, cultures, religions, sciences, and technologies. And here we can see some of the beautiful sights along that trade corridor. Some still standing, some not so much. Yeah, some looking like this. That's in Merv, in Turkmenistan. But yeah, Silk Road. So Bukhara is a classic UNESCO site. Completely forgot to mention the historic center of Bukhara. It says Bukhara, which is situated on the Silk Road, is more than 2,000 years old. It is the most complete example of a medieval city in Central Asia, with an urban fabric that has remained largely intact. Monuments of particular interest include the famous tomb of Ismail Samani, a masterpiece of 10th century Muslim architecture, and a large number of 17th century madrasas. So I'll show you. Of course, we're going to look at all of them on Google Earth. They're all very, very beautiful. This is my favorite one, the Chor Minor Mosque. But yeah, as we talk about the history here, here's Ismail Samani's tomb. We'll talk about him first. As we talk about each era of Bukhara's history, each era built beautiful things. Beautiful, beautiful, very iconic places. Usually places of learning like madrasas, places of worship like mosques. And then there is the Ark, the fortress of Bukhara. So various different buildings, but they're all beautiful, and a lot of them are still around, which is pretty amazing. So, before we get into those eras, I want to mention a really interesting ethnicity that lived here, some still do live here. The Bukharan Jews, who settled this area probably sometime around the 4th century CE. Now, going way back into Jewish history, all the Jews of Judea and Israel were enslaved in Babylon, and they were liberated by Cyrus the Great. He said, you can all just go home. And almost everyone did head back home to the Levant, but some stayed behind and lived in Persia, what's now Iran. And slowly they migrated up toward this area in Bukhara. They became known as the Bukharan Jews, which were a very predominant population here in Bukhara up until the 20th century. Many moved to Israel in the 1950s. Many moved to the United States. But there's quite a few still around. If you remember that famous story of the last Jew in Afghanistan, he was a Bukharan Jew. He had to leave Afghanistan in 2021, so there are no longer Jewish people in Afghanistan. But he was a Bukharan Jew, which I think is an interesting little history tidbit there. But mainly we are going to be talking about the religion of Islam, right? Because in the year 709, the Arabs invaded and brought their religion with them, which is the predominant religion here in Bukhara today. From the 9th to the 10th centuries, this was the capital of the Samanid dynasty, which we mentioned that tomb. He was the Samanid ruler who was the first one to convert from Zoroastrianism to Islam. So he has that beautiful tomb, Ismail Samani. In the 11th century, the Kara Khanids would rule this area, and they would build some of my favorite buildings here in Bukhara. So I thought I'd mention them. During their time, they built a really beautiful mosque with a really cool minaret. Check it out. But those prosperous times ended quite abruptly in 1220 when Genghis Khan invaded and did what Genghis Khan did best and just obliterated everything in his path. His grandson Timur, or Tamerlane, would also invade in 1370. He was really famous in this corner of Uzbekistan, particularly in Samarkand, just right here, for kind of building everything back up and making it beautiful. Like I said, every era, there's some addition. His grandson would be Ulugh-Bek. He would also build a really beautiful madrasa, I believe his name. Gorgeous. But of course, we'll take a look at that. That era came to an end in 1501 when the Uzbek Shaybanids would defeat Babur, the Mongol emperor, king, so on and so forth, at the Battle of Kazdevan, which you can see right here. They would take over the area and would eventually establish the Khanate of Bukhara. Here would be the capital of the Khanate. Khanates because they were descended from Genghis Khan. Many people are descended from Genghis Khan, aren't they? And of course, beautiful buildings, so on and so forth. That era would end in 1740 when they were invaded by Nader Shah, who was the ruler of the Persians at that time. Bukhara would become a vassal state of Persia until 1785 when Nader Shah passed away, and this area was declared free of Persian rule. It became the Emirate of Bukhara, no longer a Khanate, because it was not ruled by the descendants of Genghis Khan. It was ruled by an emir from the Mangit, I'm not sure, Mangit dynasty. And that would last until 1920, but important to note that they fought with Russia, who was ever expanding their territory southwards and eastwards in every direction they could. In 1868, Russia went out and they made Bukhara a protectorate of the Russian Empire. So when the empire collapsed, it was ruled by the Bolsheviks. The Red Army went through many of the former Russian imperial territories to reconquer it, and they reconquered Bukhara in 1920, and it became the capital of the Bukharan People's Soviet Republic, which would be absorbed into the USSR by the USSR in 1924. And there it would remain until Uzbekistan's independence in 1991. During Soviet times, the focus was, of course, more on industry, natural gas mining. But today it seems that Bukhara is mostly focused on tourism, because many of those sites, like I mentioned, are still around. They're not in the best condition because it's kind of a tradition to not really restore buildings like from that time, just to keep them just as natural as possible. The Bukhara Ark, the big fortress there, was rebuilt and destroyed multiple times. With that invasion in 1920, it was destroyed for the last time, and it's still in that state. So there are so many beautiful sights to see here in Bukhara. So that's kind of the main focus now in that city, from what I can tell. And that would be the history of Bukhara. Bukhara and Samarkand are like two of the most beautiful cities. They are so gorgeous. I'm so obsessed with that beautiful teal color that the domes of the mosques and the madrasas have, the archways have. Gorgeous. It's kind of Tamerlane's like stamp in a sense. You know that he was involved somehow if you see that beautiful teal color. Although some of the buildings we'll see are older than him, they predate him. So I wonder if he was inspired by Bukhara to build up Samarkand, that beautiful teal. But why don't we hop over to the tablet, because there are so many things to look at here. Let's go take a look at this beautiful city on Google Earth. Here we are in the Bukhara region. And let's of course start by zooming out so you can see exactly where we are in the world. You can tell just how desertified this area is, right? Let's zoom out so you can see exactly where Uzbekistan is located here in Central Asia. You can see Kazakhstan's just up there. Afghanistan, Iran are just to the south there. There's the Caspian Sea. And then you can see the vast, vast deserts here. If we zoom in, you can see that this whole section here is pretty much just sand and rocks and dirt. Not much going on, is there? That is the Kizilkum Desert. And then you can see just how green it is around the rivers there. That's the Amudarya River in Turkmenistan. And here is the oasis. There we go. Let's check out Bukhara. Bukhara. Now, let's head into the old town. It's the UNESCO site here. And let's go look at all of the beautiful sites. There are so many. I suppose I should show you my favorite one first, which is over here. It is the Kalan Mosque. If it's going to load, let's tap out, tap it again, and nope. Okay, how about we look at the Kalan Tower? There we go. So this is the big minaret attached to it. It's gigantic and it's thick. Usually minarets are really thin because they're just staircases leading to the top. But this one is massive. It looks like a big chess piece to me. There's the beautiful mosque there. There's that beautiful teal turquoise color. I love it. This tower, I think it's the tallest in the city on purpose. They actually used it for executions. If you were guilty of a crime and put to death, they would throw you from the tower. What a horrible way to go. Look at that view, drinking your tea. Look at all the tourists. See, that's what I'm saying. It's a big kind of tourist industry. Gorgeous. Like, it's like shocking how many little hotels and things are around here. Look at all the doodads for sale. Can we look at the mosque now? There we go. It's so pretty. Oh my gosh. This big rectangular arch with this shaped gate here being gigantic. That's the actual door. That's a person. It's huge. That's very characteristic of the architecture here in Uzbekistan for the old cities, especially Samarkand. Look how pretty. It's like iconic. If you're ever playing like GeoGuessr or something and you see that shape, you know where you are. Look how beautiful inside. I love all of the use of geometric shapes in places like this because you're not allowed to depict humans, especially faces. Look at that. Amazing. Look at those costumes there. So they use geometric designs in mosques and madrasas in Muslim holy places. So you get things like this. Isn't that stunning? So, so pretty. Alright, let's look at, I think that's the trading dome here. Is it? Or is it madrasa? I think that's the trading dome. One of many. Yeah, definitely, because look at all of the goods for sale. Chessboards, clothes, carpets. Kitty cats probably not for sale. Coffee shops, all that beautiful jewelry, earrings and necklaces. Not sure what that is. Maybe handbags, plates, and candlesticks, samovars, maybe big teapots. Snowy day. There's the minaret. Riding their bikes around town. Beautiful prayer rugs. Yeah, the trading domes are a big part of the city culture, dating back, of course, to the Silk Road times, right? It was imperative to the city to have those trading centers. This is the Abdulaziz Khan Madrasa. There's that iconic gate there. That beautiful shape. Look at the inside. So, so pretty. Big minaret there. I love how thick these minarets are. They're so chunky. But yeah. Stunning, stunning, beautiful. Pretty street lamps too. This terrace looks bewildered. And that beautiful color. Maybe we'll look at that next. Over here. Oh, that's the Ulugh-Beg Madrasa, which is so pretty inside. Look at that. Ulugh-Beg was a very beloved ruler here in Bukhara. Like, there's lots of things named after him throughout Uzbekistan. Ooh, that place hasn't held up so well. But look at this. This has beautiful tiles. Isn't it pretty? Oh, it's a camel. It's so pretty. Oh my gosh. Gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. Oh, and have some good food too. Maybe that's at a cafe or something nearby. Oh, this is the trading dome too. Let's take a look if it'll load. Even more things for sale here. So pretty. Oh wow. Like fabrics of every possible design. We'll look at that soon. Wow, looks like, you know, when you wear those trading pins like at Disneyland. Oh, look at all the teapots and urns and rugs. My goodness, my goodness. Everything for sale. Beautiful beaded little bags or accessories, knives, weird peacock, bird, hummingbird things. This is where you get them. The weird, you want storks, you want pelicans. They got them. Not sure what those are, but they've got them. Alright, let's hop over. I think over here's where we'll go next. See, there's another trading table there. Let's look at this madrasa. It's all beautiful, isn't it? Oh, so stunning. So stunning. Yeah, it's like overwhelming just how many of these beautiful buildings are still around. Sweet camel. The beautiful door. Oh, there's Nasruddin Hoja, right? Kind of a wise trickster fable character, I suppose. There's so much to see. It never ends. Money exchange here. Another area to trade, shop. Wow. That's amazing. Little dolls. Big old tree there. Oh, we'll look at that soon. Why don't we go take a look? See, like, you could just get lost here. It's so amazing here. There's so much to see. But let's look. I think this one's my favorite. It's so round. It's so peculiarly shaped. But still have that beautiful color. Yeah, it's like trading pins all over. Pretty cool. Oh, look. I can stand up on top and take cool photos like that. The view from up high. Big stairs leading up. The view there. Architectural monument. Shorminor Complex. 1806, 1807. The trading complex is under state protection. Beautiful pots for sale. History of it, old photographs, but it's still around today. Wow. So many little doohickeys to buy. Yeah, that's a pretty neat place. Then if we go on this side, you can see the Ark. Oop. The Ark. The Ark. This was the old fortress. You can see the walls there. See, look at this. Oh, how much is still standing, but most of it is not destroyed by the Bolsheviks. We'll look at that in a minute. And that too. And that too. Yeah, I want to... And that too. My goodness. Okay, let's look at this slideshow. Panorama Arc. We want to see what's left of the fortress here, right? All that remains. Places like that. Places like this. All rubble today, but still around for us to enjoy and remember. The big gate here. Looks like they've repaired this, haven't they? That looks pretty new. Yeah, that looks like maybe what it looks like before. You can see all the rubble there. Pretty. Oh wow. This looks like they stacked things up quite neatly there, keeping it organized and tidy. Alright, over here, kept showing us, is this beautiful mosque here, which is so different from everything we've seen. Built in 1712, with these beautiful pillars here that are wood carved. Everything that we see here in this town has been made of stone, but this is wood carvings. and they're gorgeous. So beautiful. And these wood beams up here, exposed wood beams, you don't really see that a lot in mosques, especially old mosques like this. They look at the detail in the wood pillars. It's so beautiful. This place is lovely. There's the arc there. Of course, an intricate door, intricate archway. The inside, the carpet is that beautiful color too. There goes the trader by the looks of it. I guess that's the minaret. That's also chunky. And then over here we've seen lots of times the Bukhara Tower, which is just like a big observation tower. You go up, you can see the whole city. So this is relatively new, right? This was not built by some ancient Khan or Emir or something. This is for tourists to enjoy these beautiful views, and you can see all of the cool sights. Look at all the pictures of it. All the sights there, you can see all the beautiful teal green tones around. It lights up at night. Pretty neat little spot. The draft for it. This place is lovely, isn't it? And then we also have, if you think, my goodness, we've seen so much, we have not seen the Ismail Somani Mausoleum, which was one of the first, if not the first, of like the gorgeous buildings they built here. Look, they just went crazy with the details. Details on everything. Everything must have some intricate little pattern on it. Even the tomb is made of these cool bricks. Look at the detail. Like there's details on the details. And yeah, this is from like the 10th century. It's still around. I bet it was all painted beautiful colors at one point, because it looks pretty drab compared to the rest of the city, isn't it? I bet it's all faded away. So yeah, those are the big, there's more. There's so many more. Let's see, like this madrasa here. Like they're everywhere. This place is so beautiful. There's just look at that detail. I'm obsessed with it. Just gorgeousness everywhere. So as always, I do highly recommend that if you're ever bored, got nothing to do, you got your phone or tablet or computer, hop on Google Earth and play around Bukhara. I bet you can find even more beautiful buildings there. I hope I remembered all the important ones. See, there's Ulugh Park, right? Oh, we've got a palace up here. That's alright. Let's see if the palace will load. It's from the 19th to early 20th century. Currently houses a museum of decorative and applied arts. Wow. See, on the last days of the emirate, this would be the palace. Look how beautiful. All those colors. They got peacocks. They got beautiful urns. They got rugs for days. So many rugs, they gotta put them on the walls. No, it's decor. Beautiful throne there, which is of course detailed all over it. Big beautiful palace. They got the clothes. Past rulers there, I assume. That beautiful color. It's so pretty. And lots of history there as well. And then if you think it stops there, it doesn't. It continues on. We can go look at this town here, and let's see what we can find. It looks like there's a tomb right here. I think it says tomb. Masjid. Much more modern, but still very beautiful. We can go up here and find even more. Let's see. We've got, what does this say? I'm not sure, but it's another beautiful building. They got the wood beams as well. Big courtyard there. All white and clean on the interior. It never ends. This is just a beautiful corner of the world. You can find stuff all over. That's just amazing. Do you want to look at the traditional ceramic museum? I think I do. Wow. Oh my gosh, I love this color too. I like this display. That's clever. Wow. Yeah, I love that color. All the unglazed there. And all the glazed there. Some traditional displays. That's a pretty color too. Oh my gosh. Wow. But yeah. I want you guys to go poke around and find even more sites. And let me know in the comments what you find. And let's see what's this. And then we can all go take a look as well. Oh, I think I've got hiccups. It might have passed. Connection error. You can do it. I believe in you. There we go. Oh wow. That was something once upon a time. And it's a big old mound of nothing now. Archaeological object. Objects under state protection. Don't mess with it. Alright. We're going to end it there then. So thank you so much for watching. Look at all the farmland here. If you enjoyed this style of content, please consider subscribing. This is an ongoing series on my channel. We're going to every region of the world in alphabetical order, and next we're heading over to Zimbabwe. We're going to see some really pretty sights over in Zimbabwe. Be sure to subscribe so you won't miss out. Maybe even some lions. Please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up if you're still awake. Hit that thumbs up button. Let me know your thoughts down below in the comments. I hope that you found this video to be relaxing and educational, and I hope that you have a good